Hello and welcome to my channel, and if you have already been to my channel, then welcome back. My name is Kalina and I'm an expert in public relations and mass communications, and in this video I'm going to talk about the effort and the result. What does it mean when you put the effort, and is the effort more important than the result? And of course, because this channel is about personal image, we're gonna talk about this in the context of personal image and personal branding and public relationships and communication strategies. Okay, so is the effort important, or is it the result that is important? People usually, when they look at you, they don't look at the effort. They don't necessarily know the effort, they don't want to hear about the effort, but they want to see the result. The result that may be your presentation, or the service that you provide, or the product that you provide. However, very often the result is a function of the effort, but it is the right kind of effort. So people want to see the result, and the result doesn't need explanation, it doesn't need negotiation, it doesn't need you to show the effort, but there is a result that shows effort, and it also shows the right kind of effort. So what do I mean? Let's say if it is about your personal image or the way you look or your presentation, there are certain ways that are considered like a dress code or the right way to dress, or you're styled correctly, or you are following certain rules, certain societal rules. However, if you don't know what's behind those rules, and if you don't understand why you're doing certain things, and you're just doing them for the sake of doing them, because you know that those are the rules, then the result is different, rather than if you truly understand what's behind the rules, or what's behind the effort, and you put the right kind of effort. Okay, so when we talk about personal image, there's effort and there's the right kind of effort, and there's result, which result is showing who you are, and behind this who you are is a person who is ready to put effort. Okay, and I know this is a little complicated now, so I'm going to explain. Keep up with me, follow me, okay? Just hang on, I promise I'll explain. Okay, so let's say about your personal image and presentation and about your looks. What is the right kind of effort? The right kind of effort is very often connected to self-care and to a person that shows results that are connected to good habits. Okay, so this is the right kind of effort. The right kind of effort is connected to your standard. And very often, a lot of things, when you make it a standard and you make it a habit, they feel effortless. So there's no much effort. You're just doing them, but there's no pushing. It's not hard for you. You just do them because it's your habit, and because it's your personal choice, basically, and because you have self-care. Okay? So let's say I'm gonna talk about clothing, because again, I'm gonna give a little more context. Let's say about your clothing, the way you dress, your style, your personal style. There's a difference between you having a wardrobe that's stylish, that pieces are selected, and you're wearing those pieces that are good quality, good fabrics, that match your color palette, that match your body type, and that also match the environment that you move within. And you have this wardrobe as a standard, like this is your standard, the way you dress. And there's a whole different result when you don't have this standard on day-to-day basis, but once in a while you have to attend an event or you have to get within certain environment, and for that particular situation you must select an outfit and you don't quite know what you're doing. Maybe you're asking specialists, maybe you're asking professionals, maybe you're going to a store and you're specifically describing what you need the outfit for. Maybe you have certain event that is a little more formal, and then you find exactly the right suit or the right dress and the right accessories. However, you don't feel comfortable wearing them because they're not your standard. Now you're putting effort. You did put effort because you know the kind of environment that you're going to be in. You know the event that you're going to attend, and it's going to be formal, and you put the effort. But this effort is not bringing you the right result. And this is true for everything. This is true for your looks, for your appearance. This is also true for the standard of your job. Let's say if I have a client for a consultation, I need to have certain standard for my clients. Because if I say I'm gonna put a little more effort for this client because they are, let's say, celebrity, or they are somebody that is wealthier, but this other client, even though they're also a client of mine, I'm gonna put less effort, just not gonna care so much. That's not going to work, right? That's not going to work because I need to put myself a standard. My standard is the same for everybody. I'm trying to provide the best PR service consultation possible, right? And this is why what I teach is to create your personal image on a long term, because you pretty much create a standard for yourself. And that brings results, and those results feel effortless. And it's not because you didn't put effort, you still did. You still did the work. You still did the action that you needed to do, but it was a little more connected to who you truly are. Because you're putting the effort to make yourself this person. Okay? So now it is a little more complicated, but I hope you truly understand what is effort and effort. Very often when you just put a lot of effort, people are thinking that you want to prove yourself. They're actually doubting that you truly have that standard. They're doubting your results. Why? Because they see you putting so much effort to prove yourself. But what if you put this effort on day-to-day basis? What if you put this effort to create yourself a standard? What if you go to a formal event and you feel comfortable in those clothes because you're used to wearing them? Because it's your personal standard to wear high quality clothes that are not just trendy, that are not fast fashion. You're used to stylish clothes. You're used to certain standard. What if you put on work on your workplace and you effortlessly achieve certain result and you effortlessly fulfill certain tasks that are a struggle for somebody who is really putting the effort, but they haven't put the effort prior when you did in order to create this standard for yourself. And then the actions just come effortlessly. Okay? Let's say during the university, maybe the high school years and the university years, you really put effort into creating yourself a routine for studies, for self-care, let's say for sports. You created a routine which allows you time for reading, and you created a routine that allows you to go through your materials that you needed for the school, for the lessons and for the exams, and you created this routine and that became your standard. Now when you go to your workplace, you're bringing that. But if there is somebody else who used those years for party, and it's nothing wrong with party, but let's say that's all they did. They didn't create this routine. They didn't create this schedule for studies. They didn't put any time to read or improve themselves in any way. Suddenly, they're at their workplace and now they have to put a lot of effort because they haven't created this work ethic. They haven't created this routine. Or another situation, let's say you do have certain routine, you are a very organized person, however, you're insecure. So you go to your workplace and you're so insecure that you put a lot of effort into the littlest tasks. And you think that you're gonna impress people because you put so much effort. But people were looking at you like, why are you putting so much effort? You don't need to do this. And they end up doubting if you truly can do the job, if you truly have the skills. And by the way, I have done this mistake, and I'm gonna admit it, this was my mistake. I have been in situations that's exactly what I was doing. I knew I was capable, but I was so stressed out. I was putting so much effort into everything, and I appeared in a different way. I actually came across as somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing with things that I knew I could do, but I was insecure. And that didn't turn well, and that's one of my mistakes. So there is effort, but what's the result? The result doesn't come as you want it, and this is one of my lessons that I had to learn. And by the way, I'm sharing my personal mistakes and lessons so that I can help somebody, because maybe you're going through the exact same thing and maybe you don't understand why you're not achieving the result even though you're putting the effort, even though you actually have the standard of being hardworking or organized. Well, maybe you need to look at your insecurity. Are you secure enough that you truly have that standard? So, in conclusion, when you put the right effort and when it is about your personal standard and developing yourself, then this is effort that is bringing you true results. When you're putting too much effort, you're giving the idea that you want to prove yourself. So people will actually doubt that you can truly achieve the results. And then there is that third point that people will look at your results before they even get to the effort. And sometimes it's exactly the results that's going to be the proof. Because when you appear somewhere and you're looking good, and I'm going to continue with that context of appearance because it is a personal image channel, right? So you appear somewhere, you're looking good, and you look effortlessly confident and effortlessly secure and comfortable in your skin. And you feel really comfortable in those clothes, and you feel like this is the right environment for you, wherever you are. Now you have the results. People are not gonna come after you how many stores you have visited in order to find those clothes. They're not with you every day to see what is your daily routine, but they will see and they will experience the result, which is you're good looking, you have a good appearance, you are within your own energy, you're comfortable, and you're secure. And all of that actually is the result. Okay? So if you have that result, people can assume that you have put effort, but you have put effort because of yourself. And you have put the exact kind of effort, the right kind of effort, that will build the correct habits and the correct routine. And this video was a little more about the energetic presence rather than just doing what you need to do and putting the clothes that you're supposed to put. Even though all of those rules are actually important, because there's rules for every environment, right? For every event, there's rules for business environment. And those rules are important because when you're at your workplace, there's certain standard that needs to apply. Standards in the communication, standards in the way that you dress, because they're at work. And you also need to be presentable. You need to show certain professionalism and authority. So that is important. All the rules are important. Knowing those rules are important. But it's not all about the rules or the details. It is about who you are. It is about what is your own personal standard and what is behind the effort that you put. Okay, so let me know if you understood my points. I would love to know what you think about this particular matter. And also you can like and share this video and you can subscribe for my channel. I'm going to also put a link below to my website so that you can see a little more about who I am and what I'm doing. Thank you very much and have a great day.